For claim in domestic travel policy, request is mandatory. We raised a request when we need prior approvals from the managers. Any booking through Travel Desk need an advance, and also for month-end provisioning. To raise a request, click on the request option and then click on the new request. We will fill them one by one, starting with the request header. In the request header, columns highlighted in the red color indicate that it is mandatory to fill them. You can proceed to the next step only after filling them. Let's start with the request type. In the request type, the drop-down arrow will show us three options: travel, non-travel and impress. Travel can be local, domestic or international. Non-travel can be late night sitting or holiday working or relocations expenses. And impressed can be branch expenses, service expenses or any other expense incurred by the employee which is claimed on red voucher. We are claiming domestic travel, so select travel policy from the drop-down list. Next is request name. The request name should be relevant with travel. For example, if I have travel to Delhi, request will be travel to Delhi. Next is travel type, which includes domestic, international, local or up-country. Since it is domestic, we will select domestic. In booking source, you can select self or travel desk. If you have made the booking by self, select self, else select travel desk. Next is start and end date, which basically means the date on which you began your journey, and date on which you return to your base location respectively. Request date is always for the coming days. For instance, my request is from 23rd of September to 26th of September. Next is the main destination city. My destination is Delhi. Destination country will be captured according to your destination city. Next column asks, does your advance has mixed currency? This is required only for international travel. So for domestic, local and up-country travel, we will select no. By default, it is no. Mention the purpose of your travel in the purpose column. Fill your available phone number in the temporary phone number column, so that concerned person can contact you easily for any query related to request. Any specific information you have to convey to the travel desk or your approval authorities can be mentioned in the comments column and then click on Save. As soon as you click on the Save button, a request ID is generated, which we need to capture under Request ID option if we want advance from the company. In case we want advance, we'll mention the request ID that generated after clicking Save. Next is the amount required. For example, I want 10,000 Indian rupee, mention 10,000 and select INR. Next is advance type, which consists of two types, rolling advance and normal advance. Rolling advance is for a long term, but if we want advance for a particular period or for short term, we will select normal advance. Here I want advance for a specific travel or for 1 or 2 travel. I will mention normal. Please remember the initial letter of the word is written in capital. Next column is cash advance. Mention the purpose why advance is required and then click on Save button. Click on the segment tab in which modes of travel are highlighted such as air travel, train travel, car rental which is generally required for hiring car for an entire day. Hotel for the stay, buses and taxis, insurance and visa. Please remember that insurance and visa will be required in the case of international travel only. Here for instance I have to travel through air. So I will click on the air ticket icon. This will direct us to options which will then present us 3 options: round trip, one way and multiple segments. Select accordingly from the 3 options. In this we have to fill outbound and return details. Outbound means your journey from base location to another place. So in this, we will write Patna, which is the base location, and I travel to Delhi from Patna. Date is 23rd September and mention the time. Mention any specific information you have to convey to the travel desk in comments option. Next action asks that is your travel is more than 500 kilometers one way. If your travel is more than 500 kilometers, click yes, otherwise click no. After that, you have fill all your return details. 26th is the return. Here mention about the time of return. Add a comment. And then mention whether your travel is more than 500 kilometers or no. And then click on yes. Once you fill both the outbound and return details, click on save. In addition, if you want a hotel booking or car booking through the company, in that case you can fill these options one by one. Next is expense tab, click on it. Now mention tentative amount of all the expenses related, your travel. Since we are claiming under domestic travel, so I can have expenses on the hotel and food, I will select hotel, food, own stay, domestic, expense type. 3000 is the approximate amount. Add a comment like for stay purpose and then click on save. Then there are expenses on own stay, so on own stay amount is 2000 approximately. Add a comment. And then click on save. Then there are some expenses on taxi or public transport. In case of taxi booking, the amount would be 2000. Add a comment and then click on save. In addition to this, if you have other expenses such as per diem, laundry, train or car rentals, then you will have to fill the details accordingly and then click on save. Here our airfare amount is 0 because this booking is done through Travel Desk, and once the booking is done by Travel Desk and amount is filled by Travel Desk, it will reflect in the expense amount. After filling all the details like request header, segment and expenses, We will submit our request. In case we need to check to whom the request is forwarded for approval, click on Approval Flow. This will direct us to a page which shows all the authorities to whom your request is being sent, such as manager, travel desk if booking is done to travel desk. In case you have taken in advance, it will reach your vertical head or head of the department. Then click on Submit button. Here request is submitted.
Luminous खुशियों का घर